Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to B Sports Picks. So yesterday I gave you guys another winner. The official play that I went with was the Yankees on the money line and the Dodgers at a plus 1.5. Now, towards the end of the game, I was a little bit worried because they were down by two, but then they came back in the ninth inning, at the bottom of the ninth, and they scored 3 runs. So the Dodgers ended up winning the game straight up. They could have lost by one, and we would have still won the bet, but they ended up coming through for us. So that was another win. So the total, I actually messed up on the title yesterday. I had 25-5, but it was actually 23-5. So right today it's going to be 24-5. That's the free picks in the last like 9 days now. So I have I have a lot of stuff to go through. If you have questions, I'll try to answer them as I'm moving along. But I'm going to look through the Yankees game, the Astros game, the Phillies game, the Dodgers game, and the Pirates game. So there's a big mismatch. There's big mismatches in 3 of those games that I just mentioned. I'm going to explain that in the pitching stuff is actually a big mismatch. There's a couple of plays that stand out right away. I've already threw in a couple of bets, but I wanted to go and confirm either I'm going to play them as a money line or as a parlay. I really don't know how I'm going to play these, so just bear with me. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. All right, guys, let me get right into it. So this tool right here is called the Sharp Edge tool. And inside of here, you get a bunch of different tools. The one I look at in the beginning of the day is the Sharp Plays. Sometimes this is not done until later on in the day. So sometimes I kind of skip over this one. But this one gives you a breakdown. It literally goes through all the information and it breaks down which games you should be looking at. So right here, it's telling you to take a look at Pittsburgh. It's telling you to take a look at Baltimore on the over. And these are the strong plays. I don't even consider these at all unless something else pops up. But that's the Sharp Plays tool. Now, the other thing, I actually just cleaned this up a lot. And now this is very solid. So you can see there's still missing information here, but it's still very, very good. So again, I'm not going to go into all the crazy details of how I made this. I talked about that very extensively yesterday. So if you want to check that out, how I made this stuff. So this is not just some bullshit. This is literally going out and looking at the strong information from today's data sets and putting it into one page. So this is basically like a screenshot a screenshot. Well, it's not a screenshot. It's I forgot the word. Anyway, let me just get into it. A snapshot. That's what I meant. A snapshot of the entire game. So right here we got the Yankees. That's why it's highlighted. You can see the line moved 20 cents in their favor. The win probability is 67%. The expert insights say the New York should win. On the OPS, this is a huge mismatch. You can see the Yankees right here are number 2, meaning OPS is the on-base percentage. So in the last 7 days, the Yankees are number 2. And Cincinnati is actually number 24. So they're bottom 10 versus top 5. And then the projected runs right here is telling you the books. This is actually straight up from Pinnacle. And Pinnacle is telling you that the Yankees are going to go on the under 5.5 runs. But that's favored as an under 5.5. So you have to kind of question that as a 5 runs, okay? Now you compare that to Cincinnati. They're projected to go over 3.5. So 5 for the Yankees, 4 for Cincinnati. That's kind of how you got to look at that. So basically everything is going in alignment with the Yankees. So that's actually standing out. Now you got the Astros, 8-cent line move, 65% of the win probability. Expert insights say 71%. Houston is 15 in OPS compared to 27 for Cleveland. Somehow Cleveland has been winning games. We've been fading them, and they've been winning somehow. So you got to be careful with that one. On top of that, you got Houston over here. They're projected to go under 4.5, which is 4. And then Cleveland is projected to go over 3.5, which is 4. So it's going to be a close. As far as the runs go, it says it's supposed to be close. This game is a huge mismatch on the pitching. I'm going to show you that. The Phillies versus the Mets, you got the 17% or 17 cent line move, 65% win probability, 75% expert insights. And then the OPS, you can see Phillies are struggling. Right here, they're number 25. and the Mets are number 8 on base percentage. But the thing you have to keep in mind is that number 8 for the Mets is actually going to be diminished a lot because of the pitching, which I'm going to show you. Now we got the Mets over here. They're projected to only score 3 runs compared to 4 runs over here for the Phillies. So 4-2. I went crazy last night. Took the Yankees to win. Ben Rice to hit a home run. Nice. I don't do home run bets, but that's nice that hit for you. Now, the other big mismatch is the Pirates. We actually took the Pirates yesterday. I showed why it was so strong. I didn't say to go with them, but I took them, and they ended up losing. But today it should be a lot different because they have their best pitcher on the mound. So you might want to look at Pirates on the first 5 innings, but I'll leave that up to you. I'm not sure on that one yet. So anyways, 8-cent line move, 67%. It's a deep research says it's strong towards Pittsburgh. And then I mentioned this yesterday, the inflated numbers is because Colorado's at home. So all the numbers, all the hits, all the runs, everything gets inflated in Colorado. So it's the number 1 hitter park there. So they're ranked number 1 because they've been playing at home a lot, OPS, and then Pittsburgh is also number 9. So overall, the OPS is what killed us yesterday with Pittsburgh. But anyways, you can see right here, they're supposed to score 6 runs compared to 4 runs for Colorado. Dodgers, it doesn't have a lot of data here, but it does say 3 out of 6. And they almost lost this game yesterday, so you got to be careful with the Dodgers today. So once we have this information, like I said, I do like the Yankees. I do like the Astros, the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Pirates. So all of these games that I would have normally been looking at are actually showing up on this screen. And I built it that way because I wanted to give me a snapshot of what the hell I'm looking at before I even get into the games. So again, I built this tool and it's very solid because it's actually showing me right away what I should be staying away from, what to be careful with. That's even before I even look into the games. But if I go to the dashboard over here, I go to baseball, and then I can start looking at the projections. So the projections do say Yankees are supposed to win this 4.5. Actually, let me get some stuff out of the way first. I will give you guys at least one play. If I don't have it, if I don't come up with any of these plays, none of these match, which they should, I'll give you the one I threw out there this morning to the VIP. So this is what happened yesterday very quickly. The Yankees went 5-0. I did say to go take the Yankees on the money line. And then I did say take the Dodgers at a +1.5. So they could have lost by 1, and we would have still won the bet. They ended up coming through and winning the game straight up. Here's the play that I gave, Dodgers +1.5 with the Yankees. I took the Mariners and the Red Sox not to score a run in the first inning. I also took the Yankees at a -1.5, which you can see they won by 5. And then I took the Braves, no run first inning, and the Rays, no run first inning. So it was 5 wins, 4 losses. It was not a good day for the VIP. But there was a lot of stuff I did say was once you start getting to a higher number, I kind of stay away because let's just say, for example, I would have threw out 15 picks and 10 of those would have lost, then my bankroll would have went to shit. But because I'm very disciplined, I only lost 4 bets. And even though I won 5 bets because of the odds, I lost a little bit of units yesterday. But overall, it was not a bad day. Okay, it was not horrible. Here's the mismatch that I was talking about. You can see the pitching. I'm not going to get into crazy details in this screen here, but this, if you want this page that you see right here, that's going to be in YouTube and also on X and also on Instagram and Reddit. But if you haven't done so, go to YouTube and go to where it says free picks and subscribe on YouTube. But anyways, this basically gives you a quick screenshot that Paul Skeens is one of the best pitchers right now versus Sugano. You can see it's red. It's 5.24. And then you got Sanchez versus Peralta. That one's not a huge mismatch, but he is a lot better. And then you got Yamamoto, which is one of the best pitchers right now. He almost shut out the White Sox when I was there last week or a week and a half ago. He almost shut out the White Sox. So then we got the Baltimore, what's his name? Rogers. So all of these are mismatches, Paul Skeens, Phillies, and Dodgers. Okay, so that's the reason this is popping up in 3 different sources that I've already talked about because of the pitching. Now let's get into the plays. Let's go into what is this? The Sharp Line Monitor. Again, this is part of the Sharp Edge. If you want 7 days for free, you can check that out. I'm not going to get into all the crazy details. I'm going to kind of just scroll through here, and you can see the Yankees. They went from 170, 72 to 190, and so it's still going in their favor. The Cubs went a little bit. Then you got the Braves went very little, and I'm just looking at the line movement. Astros went only 4 points or 4 cents. This one moved a lot. You can see how crazy that line went down, 158 to 176. And then this one moved a lot, which is the Pirates. You can see it went from 175 to 189. So that's 14 cents of juice. Then you got the Dodgers. It's still moving down. And yesterday, I showed you it was actually going back up. So they almost lost the game. So that does matter right here, where the line is moving and then it goes in the opposite direction. That's actually what was happening yesterday. Then we got the Mariners, very slight, and then the Twins. So that's about it. Now, once we have the line movement, projections is 4.5 versus 4 for the Yankees. Let me open this up. What was the other one? Astros. Excuse me. Let's see. Astros. Then we have Phillies. Then we have Pirates. And then we have Dodgers. So right away, all of these are looking good on the projection side. The teams that were supposed to be winning are supposed to be winning as far as the projection goes. And then let's go into each game very quickly. I'm not going to go into all these details because I've already showed you the convergence screen. And the convergence kind of talks about, this just breaks down that other screen. It breaks it down and it tells you exactly step by step what's going on. So right here, Yankees are supposed to win. Like I showed you yesterday, they won by 5-0. The line did start at 172, went to 190, 92% of the bets, 94% of the money, 67% of the win probability. The Reds are just trash right now. You can see in the last 8 games, they've only won 1 game on the road. Then we're looking at the pitching. Will Warren, every time he started, he's won. ERA is pretty similar. Overall, they're both rated the same for the Yankees and the Reds. And then we got the bullpen is much better, or not, I want to say much better, but somewhat better for the Yankees. And then we got the batting analysis. They're a lot better. You can see 2.87 compared to 1.9 batting average. These guys score roughly 7 runs compared to 4 runs. They're number 2 in OPS, on-base percentage, versus number 24, just like I mentioned before. And then we got the pitching analysis overall, and then the win probability, and then the overall team is all green over here compared to all red and yellow. So just in general, I've already talked, like I said, all that convergence screen does is it takes a snapshot of this and puts it cleaner, and it says this team is better in every one of those positions. So the only thing that's missing on that other convergence screen is the pitching, which I'm going to be adding to. So if you guys want access to this, 7 days for free, Sharp Edge tool. Okay, so I do like the Yankees. Let me highlight this. I'm going to go with the Yankees. I don't know how I'm going to play it yet, but I'll put it in there as a play. And then we got, let's see. Next one is the Astros. I have not gone with the Astros. I think I've only gone with them 1 time this entire season. And on top of that, the Guardians, every time I faded the Guardians this season, I think like 2 or 3 times, I've lost. So those 2 reasons already, I don't like that. You can see their record is actually 40-36 over here compared to 36-41. So Guardians do have a better record. That doesn't really matter too much, but let's take a look deeper. The line did move 7 points, 77% of the bets, 65% of the money. There's no win probability right there. In their last 7 days at home, they've won 70% of the time. Aaron Getty, look at this. This is a massive mismatch. A grade versus B grade. Joey Castillo's no bum, but look at Arrigetti's numbers are just ridiculous. So Arrigetti's already better. The line is moving. The pitching is better. Now the bullpen, you can see the bullpen is actually better for Cleveland. So if I'm going to play this, look at batting analysis is better. Houston is slightly better. One top 15 versus bottom 15 or bottom 5, I should say. We got the pitching analysis. There's not much else here. So what I'm going to do with the Houston Astros, I'm going to take them on the first 5 innings. And why? The reason I'm doing that is because the the Cleveland has a better batting. I'm sorry, Cleveland has better bullpen. So we're kind of just basing this on the decent bats and the starting pitcher. Okay, the wind and everything should be decent. It shouldn't be a huge factor. And even if it is, it's not crazy hot because they do have a dome. They can cover the dome if they wanted to. So it's like a retractable dome. So if it's not going to be super hot. So the wind will be a factor in this game, but it's not because it's only 8 miles an hour for the wind. With the starting pitcher is much better. I'll go with the first five. Yeah, man, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that for Houston actually, because I don't want to. I don't want to take. This guy is good, but this guy's a lot better. And then the batting is better. I just don't trust his bullpen right here. This is the reason I'm going with the first five. All right, let's go with the Phillies. Let's take a look at the Phillies. Look at the wind is a lot stronger. They're supposed to win 4-3. 158. This is the biggest line move on the board. So if look at this, 87%, 94% of the monies, 87% of the bets, win probability 65. In their last 16 as a favorite, they've won 12, which is 75%. Christopher Sanchez is a monster. Look at this ERA compared to Freddie Peralta. Freddie Peralta is struggling this year from those numbers right there. Bullpen, actually, he's not struggling. It's a B+ grade versus a A+ grade. Overall, Philly's pitcher is much better. We got the bullpen is also decent compared to the other one. Batting is a little bit better on the Mets. Yeah, it's actually a lot better. So I already mentioned this. Like I said, this is why I like to look at this deeper, not just a snapshot. The snapshot just kind of says, yes, you should continue to look at it, or no, you should stay away. And then you got to come in here and look at it deeper. So like I mentioned earlier, the New York Mets are a lot better at batting, but you got to consider that this dude, Christopher Sanchez, can kind of shut them out. And the bullpen is better as well. So strong pitching, strong batting. Strong pitching, strong bullpen overall. Let's take a look at the runs. They do score at least one more run per game. Pitching overall 65. So that's about it. And this one is huge too. That's why I added this. You can see right here, the books are saying that the Mets are only supposed to be scoring over 3 runs. And over here, it's saying that they're going to score under 5 runs. So you got to just kind of go down 1 run, which is 4 runs for Phillies, and up 1 run over here for the Mets, if that makes sense. So I do like the Phillies. I'm gonna probably take them on the money line. So I'll give you guys the play. I actually took this morning. Once I'm done talking about this stuff, let me actually make sure on this. Give me a second. I don't want to give you bad information here. Let me make sure. Actually, that's going to take too long to synchronize all this stuff. So give me 1 second here. I want to make sure I give you guys the right play. It's a 2-leg parlay I'm going to give you guys. So I'm going to talk about the other 2 games, which is actually 3 games, which is the Pirates, Dodgers. I think that's it. So Dodgers and Pirates. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, I confirmed it. Let me write this down so I don't forget it. So again, I do like the Phillies. I do like the Yankees. I like the Astros. Now I'm going to look at the Pirates. The Pirates did lose for us yesterday, but this is a different game. They got one of their top ace pitchers out there today. So convergence, you can see Pittsburgh, the verdict, it does say that go look at Pittsburgh. It's 175. It went to 183. 84% of the bets, 90% of the money. Win probability 67%. And then they do got Paul Skeens out there. He has been losing games, but that's because the fucking Pirates suck. Sugano is over here. You got 333 on Paul Skeens. He's an A+. He's one of the best pitchers out there. And then you got this guy D grade. Okay, bullpen is better for Pirates. And then they do have number one OPS. I mentioned this in yesterday's video, is that Colorado is number one for OPS, meaning on-base percentage. But you have to take into consideration that they are in Colorado. They've been playing in Colorado. And what happens is that their numbers are inflated. Okay, so I said that yesterday, and then they ended up losing. But today should be a different game because of Paul Skeens. I'm going to take them straight up. I think Pittsburgh is better in pitching overall. And then the win probability, you can see the defense has been bad, but they got the best ace out there. Compare this 6 runs compared to 4 runs. So, yeah, I'm going to take Pittsburgh again, even though they lost for us yesterday. All right, so let's see what we got here. Dodgers this is the last game I'm going to talk about. I do have a bunch of batter props and stuff. Let me just kind of show you a screenshot of that real quick. Give me a second. I have not even placed these bets that I'm talking about right now, and I've already got all of these here. So give me a second here. So all of these plays right here are either batter props. They're no run first innings. They're no run first innings, under RBIs, under stolen bases, and 1 hits. So you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I've already got 12 plays out there. So I have to kind of limit how many more plays I can throw out there, because I don't want, if I end up losing day, I don't want to lose my bankroll. So all of this stuff is inside the VIP. You can check us out for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. All those links are in the description. And like I said, if you want access to that Sharp Edge tool, it's 7 days for free. So let's take a look at the Dodgers now. I think Skeens is getting the W today. Rockies ranked 25th in strikeouts. That's good to know. Yeah, that they're like I said, their numbers are inflated, and Paul Skeens should be able to shut them out, or at least go in 6, 7 innings, hopefully. All right, we got the Dodgers versus the Orioles yesterday. Like I said, they won for us, but it was kind of a tough one. They ended up barely winning yesterday by 1 run. I actually had the Dodgers at a -1, and that was a push also. So that was a separate thing. Anyways, you can see the line movement is kind of stuck right there. Why is that stuck? Give me a second. Let me make sure on something. 123. Give me a second. I want to confirm something here. I want to go back in here, look at baseball, and then look at the sharp line monitor. And then I want to see. This went from the Dodgers 237. Why is this thing saying 230? I got to take a look. Anyway, it's saying that it's stuck right here at 230, but it's not. It is actually 237, and it started at a 217. So that line is moving. So I have to take a look at why this is showing like that. Anyway, 94% of the bets, 90% of the money is coming in. Dodgers 72% overall. Yamamoto is one of their best pitchers. They got 1.01 ERA compared to Rogers over here, 4.5. A+ grade pitcher versus C- grade. Bullpen is also much better. You got the batting, which is much better. OPS is ridiculous. These guys, Baltimore, are ranked 29th, which is second worst compared to the Dodgers are top 15. Pitching analysis overall better. A+. Overall, just everything is better. Look at this. If I just literally don't even know anything about baseball and I just scroll through this page, all the stuff is green on the right side, which is Dodgers. Literally everything is green on the right side for the Dodgers compared to Baltimore. They're supposed to score 5 runs compared to 3 runs. 11 out of the 12 categories are all in the Dodgers' favor. I talked about this yesterday. Somebody on I went like 2 days in a row where I picked the Dodgers. And then somebody, the fucking haters, they're like, hey man, do you always go with the Dodgers? Is that all you bet? And no, it's not. But I do pick winners. So I'd love the Dodgers in this spot, especially being that they won yesterday. They came back and won, so they have confidence. They're at home and they have Yamamoto on the mound. So for all those reasons, I like the Dodgers today. And last thing I'll talk about here, guys, if you haven't done so, if you're on X, there's about 40, 50 people over there. Yeah, about 45 people. Go to YouTube and type in B Sports Picks, or go to bsportspicks.com and sign up for the free picks. Also, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Go to YouTube and subscribe and get the free picks. Last thing I'll talk about here is the why has this disappeared? Okay. So I had to do an update on the back end of this website, and it removed something here, which is the top 3 batters. But this is what's called a NRFI board, which is no run first inning picks, and basically it gives you all the breakdown of all the batting and all the pitching. So right here, it literally gives you the best pitchers, which is right here. This is all based on no run first inning. That's it, nothing else, just no run first inning. So if you see that one of the best teams that's batting is actually ranked 30th over here, don't take that for what it is. Take that for based on the first inning only. Okay, so I'm not going to go through this too crazy, but a couple of them stand out immediately just by looking at this. So what you want to see is all the green up here and all the green down here. So right here, it's showing you, down here, it's showing you the offense. Up here is showing you the defense. So the pitching up here, offense down here. Again, it's only based on first inning. So Yamamoto, as you can see, Baltimore is actually ranked second to get runs in the first inning, but in the last 3, they haven't got any. And this season, they've got 80% hit rate, but they're going against, again, Yamamoto. Now, the thing about Yamamoto, even though he's on fire and he's got a FIP of 3.38, in the last 10 games, he's got rocked 50% of the time, meaning in the first inning, if they're going to score on him, they score on the first inning. So I would stay away from that one. These numbers don't look good over here. These numbers don't look good over here. This guy's missing, meaning they haven't announced him as a pitcher, so he's missing. And this is what I was talking about, the top 3 batters. So I guess it wasn't missing. It's just that there was no information for these games up here. So anyways, this adds a little bit more juice to all of this. Let me just continue. I think this is one of the ones I went with. Yeah, this is one of the ones I went with. So I'll give you this extra one just for sticking around. I appreciate you guys, man. We're like 50 people away from hitting 5,000 subscribers, which is crazy because we had about 12,000 on TikTok and then we got banned. And I had to start fresh on YouTube, and it has not been easy. So I do appreciate everybody that's here. If you're on X, go on YouTube and subscribe. All right, let me give you this play, and then that's it. So Andrew Abbott, the only little risk right here is that he's got a FIP of FIP is basically removes the errors, and it just goes based on strictly what the pitcher is doing. Okay, so you want the lower the FIP, just like the ERA. You want them to have the lowest number right here. So Will Warren is better, obviously, than Andrew Abbott as far as the FIP and the ERA. Okay. Now, 3 games in a row, he has not allowed a run in the first inning. Will Warren, 2 games in a row, he has not allowed a run in the first inning. All these numbers over here, you can simply see it says career. In his entire career, 90 games, they've only hit off of him 30% or 29% of the time. In 51 games, they've only hit 22% of the time, and so on. Okay, what I like to look at is this entire thing to see if it's green. Most of it is. Now, the only issue here is that you got Cincinnati, which is ranked 8th. They've got in the last 3 games, they've scored at least 1 run in one of those games in the first inning. Yankees is one of the worst teams to get a run in the first inning. You can see they're ranked as 29. So the higher the rank is the worst. That's why this is green. So it's kind of reverse logic there. And then you got because we're looking on the under. So you have to look at the reverse logic because it's under. Anyway, you got the last 3 games, same thing over here, 64% of the time. Now, if we look at just in general, the top 3 batters for Cincinnati, even though they're red hot over here, when they're facing Will Warren, there's no prior matchups. And then this guy went up to bat 5 times and got 0 hits. So my dog is actually starting to act up. I do like this game right here for no run first inning, Reds versus Yankees. And then the play I was going to give you guys is, let me just kind of give you a recap of what I talked about. I do like the Yankees. I like the Astros in the first 5 innings. I like the Phillies. I like the Dodgers. I like the Pirates. And then the play I'm officially giving you guys for very good odds, actually, I think it's plus money, actually, is you take the Phillies and the Yankees on the money line as a 2-leg parlay. Phillies money line, Yankees money line. All right, guys, that's going to be the official play that I'm throwing out there. All right, man. If you haven't done so, make sure to subscribe. I appreciate you all, especially on a Saturday morning, to come out here and spend time here. Thank you, guys. Let's have a great day. Make sure to subscribe. Check out the VIP picks. Like I said, I already have about 12 plays. I'm going to throw out these other 5. So I'll have literally about 15, 16 plays today in the VIP. If you guys want all of those, go to the link in the description and check that out. Thank you, guys. Let's have a great day.